Eye contact in group and team settings is an overlooked skill. I am going to show you how it is directly tied to your perceived status in these settings. Let's unpack it. Welcome friends, I'm Alex Lyon and this is Communication Coach, the channel that's here to help you increase your impact and lead your teams to higher levels of excellence. Everything on this channel is dedicated to helping you become a better leader so that you can bring out the best in the people around you. If you haven't yet subscribed, I encourage you to do so. Today's topic is how to make great eye contact in group settings, and I'll show you a little bit toward the end how it's tied to status. The first thing you should know is that most people make horrible eye contact in groups. If you were to take a snapshot of any group that you've been in at any given moment, I would say that most people are not making eye contact. They're looking at their phones, they're just looking down, they're leaned back in their chair. And what happens is when whatever is being talked about does not directly apply to us, we often tune out. We say, oh, this isn't for me. And that's a huge mistake. And you can instantly distinguish yourself as a serious player at this meeting if you make eye contact more of the time. In fact, here are the goals. You want to make eye contact 99% of the time. Whether you're speaking or whether you're just listening, lean into the table literally, make eye contact with who's ever talking 99% of the time, and who's ever listening, who's ever looking at you when you're talking 99% of the time. That is the first goal. The second goal is to make sure you look at everybody. So that means across, certainly people across this table from you. The neglected people on the sides, you have to look sideways just a little bit to include them. And then thirdly, look at the leader, whether the leader's talking or the leader is listening. Look directly at the highest status people in the room. And here is why. And here's how eye contact in group settings can really help you. Most lower status people, individual contributors, do not look at the leader. So if I'm talking as a low status person, I will hesitate to look at the high status people. But here's a little trick according to the research. High status people are very comfortable looking at other high status people. And so one of the things you can do to establish yourself as a leader, even if it's not from your official position as a leader, but just as someone who's leading the group by participating well, is to look at the high status people. So when you're talking, you look right at them. And instantly they will begin to think of you as a serious person, as someone who is leading by example minimally, someone who's rising up in the organization and ready for the next level of responsibility. It's also a great way to do it because it's nonverbal. You're not taking up a ton of airtime, or you're not speaking extra and seeming to be pushy in that group setting. You're doing it all nonverbally. So it never comes across as pushy. It just comes across as someone who's confident, who's someone who knows what they think and is not afraid to participate in that way. So eye contact in groups is an overlooked potential advantage. Most people will not do it. And if you can get better at it, you'll instantly distinguish yourself from the rest of the group. So question of the day, what are your tips for making great eye contact in group settings? I would love to hear your comment below. I'm very good at answering almost every single question or responding at least in some way. And so thanks, God bless, and I hope you get to use the tips in this video in your very next team setting.